Hello, 10th graders. Right now we are starting 0.3. So in your packet, you should be on page 8 and have a pencil ready to take some notes as we go through this video. All right, so our objective today is that students will be able to define a modern classroom and how English 10 will work this year. And the question that we're asking today is, what is Modern Classroom? You might have already heard about Modern Classroom in other classes in 9th grade at Cooper, but I really want to go over how we're going to use it in English because it might be different from how you've done it in the past. Or maybe you've never heard of this before and you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about. So we're going to answer those questions today. I want you to think about a time when you were in class and maybe the teacher was going over something that you already learned in 9th grade and you just felt so bored. You were zoning out, you weren't really focused. Or maybe there was a time in class where there was a ton of new information thrown at you and the teacher was moving super fast and you just felt really overwhelmed, like you wish you could kind of pause and just take a breath. Or maybe you felt like you had questions you wanted to ask during a lecture, but you didn't have time to ask the teacher questions and you felt like you didn't get what was happening or going on. So we've probably all been one of these students or maybe all of these students. And the goal with Modern Classroom is that you should not feel this way, right? We want you to be able to ask questions and move at your own pace, pause and take breaks when you need to, and just kind of learn in the way that is best for you. So Modern Classroom means it is a class where I am going to use instructional videos instead of lectures. So for the most part, instead of standing up at the front of class and talking at all of you for a lot of class and you take notes, all my lessons are going to be these shorter videos that are posted on Schoology where you will take notes while you watch them. Along with that, students are able to move at their own pace. And so you can get help when you need it. You can ask questions when you need it. You can pause the videos when you need to take a break or go back and rewind. And so you're going to move at your own pace. Along with moving at your own pace, it means that you only move on to the next lesson after you've shown mastery, which means you understand the content that we just covered. So those components of Modern Classroom, there's really 3 key elements that make Modern Classroom what it is. The first one we call blended instruction, and this just means that you access the new content through teacher-created videos. Those videos are going to be posted on our Schoology page. They're often going to be Edpuzzles, and you'll take notes as you go through the videos. Modern Classroom also has a self-paced structure, which this just means that you learn at your own pace. And so you might be working on lesson 0.3 while your neighbor is working on 0.2 and someone else is working on 0.4. That is completely fine. We all move at our own pace. It doesn't mean that some of us are smarter or better. It just means that we're moving at our own pace. Finally, we're using mastery-based grading, which just means that you move on to the next lesson when you demonstrate mastery or pass your mastery check. So a daily routine in English 10. What is class going to look like? We've already experienced this for the last week or so. But we are going to have some sort of warm-up. You will have something to write in your planner. This year we don't have physical planners, but I will be giving you planner sheets that we'll use in class. And then we'll move into our lesson portion. And because everyone's moving at their own pace, different people are going to be working on different things. That might mean that you're watching a video and taking notes. Maybe you're doing some practice work with your group or individually. You might be doing a hub huddle. We're going to start that this week, where your group will come up to the front table with me and we'll do some collaboration. Or you might be taking a mastery check. So all of these things could be happening during class. At the end of class, I'll give you a 2-minute warning. We'll clean up, reflect, and we'll end class together. So what materials do you need in English 10? You're going to need your Chromebook and headphones for the videos on Schoology. You'll need a pencil or a pen to take notes. You'll always need your unit packet. And I really suggest keeping your unit packet in a folder where it's not going to get crumpled up. If you need a folder, talk to me. I have some extras in the classroom, but it's a great idea to keep your unit folder or your unit packet in a folder in your backpack. And then you'll want to bring that planner sheet that I give you every day because we'll be writing on them daily. So how do deadlines work with Modern Classroom? This might be a little different than your other classes. We are going to have many target deadlines throughout a unit. A target deadline is a goal for when you should get something done. So each lesson is going to have a target deadline, and I'll say the target deadline for 0.3 is Friday. That means that you should try and get it done by Friday in order to stay on pace and not fall behind. If you miss a target deadline, that is A-okay. You can make it up. You can complete the lesson the next day, and that is completely fine. You will not be penalized. A hard deadline, on the other hand, is the final deadline you have to be done with something. So we don't really do, you can't turn something in after a hard deadline. Like that is the last day, the final day, and we take hard deadlines really seriously. So there's going to be one hard deadline at the end of each unit. You will only be eligible for the summative assessment if you complete all of your mastery checks by the hard deadline. Like I said, there's just me one hard deadline at the end of the unit, and I will give you a lot of reminders about it. We'll write it in our planners. We will be ready to meet that deadline. And how do you know where you're at in the unit? We use this thing called the pacing tracker. This is kind of what it looks like, and you'll start seeing it up on the board when you come into class. The pacing tracker helps you know where you're at in the unit, so you can find your name and say, okay, I'm working on 5.2 today, and get into your work. This is also helpful because you can see other students that are on the same lesson as you. So if you're stuck on 5.2, you can see a list of people who are working on the same thing you're working on. You can also see a list of students who've already passed 5.2 and say, oh, they might be someone that I could get some help from. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about mastery checks. A mastery check is like a short quiz at the end of every lesson. If you pass a mastery check, that means you move on to the next lesson. If you don't pass a mastery check, that's okay. You can retake it, you can revise it. And before you retake your mastery check, you'll probably want to go back and review your notes, or maybe rewatch part of a video, or ask me some questions, and then you're going to retake the mastery check until you pass. Mastery checks are formative assessments. So they're not summatives, they're formatives throughout the unit. And you must pass or show mastery on all your mastery checks in a unit in order to take that final summative at the end of the unit. All right, so that's a little brief overview of how Modern Classroom is going to work in English 10. If you have any questions, please ask me, and make sure all of your notes on page 8 are filled out at this time.